So we think we need lyrics to that opening jam right there. If you feel like giving us lyrics to that, you should write them. That should be among your projects to do this week because we know you're not busy. Good morning, Cincinnati. I'm Bob Herzog.
And I'm Jen Dalton, and we thank you for joining us on ARC Cincinnati on this Monday. Music, dance, theater. There's going to be a lot going on stage this week, and we're going to tell you more about that just ahead in our weekly Behind the Curtain.
I don't know. Also, what would you tell your younger self? I love this. We hear some of your graduation advice in just a little bit. That's from our end of show post on Friday. But first, let's see what's brewing in the tri-state. Don't love this. The Purple People Bridge is closed after an incident that happened over the weekend. Something fell from one of the piers there on the Newport side. So for now, it is closed to all pedestrian traffic. If you were looking for a walk or a jog out that way this morning, take note. No word yet on when the Purple People will reopen. The bridge company set to bring back its Party on the Purple series later this summer. Those start on June 26th, by the way, so we don't know if it's going to have any impact on that. Hopefully it's all taken care of and ready to go by the time they start those parties.
Yeah, I hope so.
Again.
Didn't they just have like Bike to Work? Didn't they have
I think was it Friday?
Last week?
Yeah, it was a Friday up there. And it's
Margarita Fest.
And I love strolling across it. I'm going to be hopefully going down there for a jog today and had planned to jog across it, but I guess I won't be doing that.
And it's not the first time this has happened. You know, it's an old bridge, so.
Tis.
They're just out of precautions, and we'll find out more and let people know what's going on.
Do you enjoy the pedestrian back and forth? Do you ever walk across the Roebling as well? Because they have the sidewalks on the side, and that's obviously pedestrian only. But
Roebling scares me a little more.
A little bit more?
Yeah. I prefer the just
You prefer the good old Purple People as it stands now. So
not that I don't love the Roebling, but walking across it.
It's a little, it makes you a little suspect. Anyway, we'll let you know when I get that all taken care of.
Right. Well, for years, there has been a push to expand Cincinnati's connector streetcars outside of downtown and over the Rhine. A group called the Greater Cincinnati Coalition for Transit and Sustainable Development gave this map to people, and they told them to pick which new lines they would like to see added. Okay,
and we'll give you a closer look at this. So the most popular route would be the red line coming out to the east there as you look at your screen. Starts downtown, heads through Mount Auburn, and then circles around in Corryville near UC's campus. The second most popular, as you look at it, is the pink line. Do you see the pink there, where you got a section up there in Clifton to Walnut Hills? The third pick was the yellow line, as you can see right there at the bottom of your screen. That would cross over into Newport. As of right now, city leaders are in no rush to begin this project, which is, of course, not surprising given the uphill battle of getting the streetcar in place back in the 2010s. The streetcar getting used last year quite a bit, as having tracked more than 1 million rides, but you still go back to, remember, you had to pay initially, at least you were supposed to pay when you rode the streetcar, and it's a free kind of thing now. So you add more lines, that means more maintenance. If it's still free, where's the money coming from? So all of those kinds of things.
And the one that would go into Newport, would that use the Taylor Southgate Bridge, I guess?
That's kind of how it looks like it's set up.
That would take a lot to convert that to be able to hold that, right?
And even looks like it's trying to cross down into Covington. You can see the bottom of the screen there. You see the Licking River right here. So, I mean, obviously, any of these are just major infrastructure projects. And with anything, where's the money come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? What kind of grants are you getting related to make anything like that happen? And there are those who would still contend, the streetcar never ended up paying for itself. It went free, so now it's being paid for, in various and sundry taxways and whatnot.
In an ideal world, though, how great would that be for University of Cincinnati students to be able to jump on and go down or into Walnut Hills or over into Newport?
Well, I think we all have this sort of romantic sort of love affair with the idea. Remember the old inclines going up the hills, so cool. And all those kinds of things. The practicality and cost, as you look at some of the things, that's the bottom line for everything, right?
We will see what happens. We'll start your engines. Inhaler Radio's Indy 500, that's Indy IE. It starts today.
It's a play on words,
It is. What is that, you might ask? Well, it is a countdown of the best 500 indie or modern rock songs done lap style, just like, the real Indy 500 car version.
Yep.
It's a tradition that started with WOXY 97X radio and has now been passed on to Inhaler Radio, which is an online station. It celebrates independent music and radio and plays homage to the rich histories of radio stations like WOXY and WNKU, both great stations in the past. And in addition to great music, you're going to hear former DJs from WOXY and WNKU hosting their own segments. It runs today through Memorial Day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Is it fair to say that you could not possibly love this more?
I do. I love it because, and I, by the way, you'll hear my set.
What?
Yeah, on Wednesday, I'm DJing from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m. And then I believe again on Sunday, it will rerun. So it runs Monday, it starts Monday, and then it reruns over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
It's really, really
cool.
But
I love it because
And did you pick your set? Did you pick?
I did not pick.
Okay,
because
I didn't know.
It's in lap format, but I got some good ones.
Gotcha.
Got a little social distortion in there. I got a little OK Go. I got a little Jane's Addiction. It's right in my wheelhouse. So it's really fun. But I, of course, go back to WOXY days. I was an intern there, and they really fueled my career in entertainment, and I just am so excited that they're keeping this going. So yay, Inhaler.
Do you have a special DJ name?
No, I just say it, Jen Dalton.
I know. I'm just wondering if we should.
We'll work on it. Oh,
okay,
gosh.
Tanner
And Bob are going to come up for
currently
a special
efforting
DJ.
a DJ name for Jen.
If you have a suggestion.
Oh, and I would imagine you do.
Please feel free.
Hey, I was very surprised about this story today, and apparently it had sort of leaked out maybe even on Friday or through the weekend. Yeah, I didn't know. The restaurant group that runs Taste of Belgium announced it's going to close several Greater Cincinnati locations. Now, going to reopen another. Let me sort of explain here. So, Taste of Belgium's Liberty Township and Kenwood locations saw their final service on Mother's Day. The founder saying those spots were losing money for some time. The Banks location and the one in Over the Rhine are also apparently struggling. Taste of Belgium quietly closed in Cincinnati's Cuff neighborhood in March, but the owner plans to reopen a student edition once the UC students are back for the fall semester. The company's Fields Ertl location is also back open, once again offering lunch and dinner for now.
Yeah. Well, in a similar vein, the Cincinnati subreddit is talking about local restaurants that are no longer around that you miss.
Yeah, we had one user writing this that we found. Mecklenburg Gardens says, I miss getting a liter of beer and then taking the shuttle to the UC game.
I didn't realize that was closed. Mecklenburg Gardens is closed? Look at me. I say, I don't know, I guess.
I guess so.
Probably could think of a number, but this is from a Cincinnati Reddit, but let's see. Where did it go? I can't see it. Probably could think of a number, but none worth speaking of more than Tucker's. Oh, Tucker's. Tucker's was a spot down there on Vine Street before everything kind of changed over. I'd been to Tucker's several times.
Yeah.
It was a real mix of folks there, and it was delicious, and it was just a great spot.
Well, and so you had the idea of sort of extending this to people watching right now. So you're the first ones to know we've even posted this, but did a Facebook post literally within the last 2 minutes. She was reading about the radio stuff, and I was making the post on Facebook. We want to know the restaurants that you miss.
Yeah.
Because do you have one that pops directly to mind?
Well,
I mean, I know obviously Tucker's is one that you would have.
On that subreddit, somebody said the Don Pablo's in Rookwood. I missed the Don Pablo's that was on the river.
Right there in Newport, right? Was it Newport or was it in
was just so fun to go.
Bellevue? I'm not really sure, but yeah.
And just sit down there after work sometimes and just overlook the river. That was a fun one, but there are just so many.
Westsiders, anybody with me on Zantigos?
I must have come to Cincinnati after Zantigos because you talk about Zantigos like it was
like just a special time and place before Taco Bell just sort of owned that market. You know what I mean? Sort of fast food. Yeah. Kind of Mexican fare. But Zantigos was special, man. They had a chilito that would just blow your mind.
And if you're watching from someplace other than Cincinnati, feel free to share that restaurant as well. It doesn't have to be a Cincinnati location, but...
Right. But go to our Arc Cincinnati with Bob and Jen Facebook page if you're not already liking it and following it, already doing it. Oh, Tanner says people are already commenting.
Because we're going to, throughout the show today, we're going to read some of your comments.
Yeah. So... Yeah. Thank you for that. And again, just to circle back to Taste of Belgium for a little bit, they were in visiting with us. I think it was just back on maybe Red's opening day or right around that time, talking about some things they were going to be doing in the opening day parade. And they're one of those spots that it seems like people are always talking about them and always doing.
Did they franchise?
I don't know. I didn't realize
because I know
there were
one
as many locations already.
Yeah, and I can't remember if I don't know how this. They started getting really big really fast. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be curious to watch. I guess if those other two locations are struggling, I can't imagine with Banks and those are the locations I think of. You know what I mean? When I think of Taste of Belgium, those are the two spots in OTR and then out of the Banks. So if those would end up in some trouble too, that would be
Yeah, I
would be a bummer.
Hope they can keep the ones around that are still open for now.
And by the way,
'Cause they're good.
speaking of our ARC Cincinnati Facebook page, we are going to check in on some of your end of show posts from on Friday, and we'll have an end of show post for today as well.
We got all kinds of
we
stuff
got
with you.
all
We're
things
gonna
that
be
are
big.
happening over there. We're making big arm movements, and we love it. Sure, you could stop watching now, but let's be honest, you want to see more. So click some of those links, or better yet, go ahead and tap subscribe. That way you'll catch more content from Local 12.